Recording in progress.
That is actually Yud Aleph in the Dvar Malchus, and we were speaking about that there is two levels of avodah: the level of the alpitam vadas, and the level that's lamayla mitam vadas, a level that's mugbal, limited, and a level that's beyond hagbola. And we were saying that this is connected to two parts in Krishna, b'chol avavcha, b'chol nafshcha, that's mugbal, tam vadas, b'chol moedecha is beyond that, and the same thing, Torah versus the Ava b'chol moedecha. And we explained that every neshama has both capabilities, because every neshama is made bit salmenu kidmusenu, because both tselem and dmus indicate this level of the two levels that we're just now saying. Tselem indicates the level that's mugbal, alpitam vadas. Dmus indicates a level that's beyond Hagbala, higher than Tam Vadas, because it's referring to, in Alakus, there's a level that's limited, mugbal, and then there's a level that's beyond Hagbala. And because there's that way in Alakus, and we have it, we reflect it as well, we were created, B'Tselem Shalamayla, B'Dmus Shalamayla, so we have both those things as well, every single year. So he started explaining what is it in the definitions of the word tselem and dmus that indicate this. So first he started explaining that a tselem is a form. When you have a statue takes the exact form of the person in height, breadth, depth, in shape. Everything is identical. That is analogous to the level of the neshama in comparison to the worlds of Bri, Yetzirah, Asiyah. That since the neshama, since Bri, Yetzirah, Asiyah is a level of Hagbolah, it's a limited level. So therefore, there is, even though the neshama is in the physical world, he also has very similar, like the tselem is very similar to the shape and form of the person. When it comes to the level of Tahoidehibad, the level of the neshama, the way it comes from Atzilus, the level of Elikuz, that's beyond the Hagbolas, the limitations of even spiritual space and time. We said in Bri, Yetzirah, Asiyah, there's spiritual space and time. In Atzilus, it's the level of Tahoidehi that every neshama has, even the neshama, the way it's Nasati, Nasatabi, has the level of Tahoidehi, has the level that is beyond the Hagbolas of Zman Makim Ruchni. That is not Salmeinu. That's Kidmusenu. Why is that Kidmusenu? We said earlier that when an artist depicts a person, in addition to the exact form that you can make in a sculpture and a statue, you can also infuse the painting or the image with life. That it looks like it's smiling, it looks like it's alive, but that the life, that the painting is quote unquote imbued with life in comparison to a human being's life, that's only Kidmusenu. It's not L'Tselem, that the exact measurements of the person is expressed in the statue. The life that the artist imbues in a sculpture, in a piece of art, whatever, is nothing like the life of a real human being. So based on that concept of Dimyon versus Tselem, we will understand how the neshama down here, in comparison to the Laila Medida V'Hagbola V'Atzilus, even though it is going out of its boundaries, just like Atzilus is higher and going out of its boundaries, so too the neshama is going out of its boundaries, not like the Tzalmeinu, that it's an avoida shalpitam vadas, an avoida that's limited. but it's still only kidmus v'dimyan shalamayla. It's only the likeness of above. It's not salmein. So we're holding. We left off line 23. Let's go back to line 21. Again on page Yud Aleph. So he says, Ach, inyan zeh, this level of the connection and the level that the neshama, the way it's down here, has a level that reflects and is similar to the level of Atzilus, the way it's beyond any limitation, that's beyond boundaries, and that is the Ava v'chol ma'odecha, the Ava of the will of the heart of Rusa Liba. So still in all, hu bechinas kidmuseinu. This is only in our likeness. It's only similar to the mus v'dimyan levad l'gabe ablikvul shalamayla. It's only something that is similar to the infinite and unbounded level of above. Im yoysalamaylam didvag bola, though the avoida that the neshama down here is expressing with the Ava b'chol ma'odecha is something that's beyond measure and boundary. Harei ze rak ma'od shalcha. It's only considered your going out of boundaries. That's why it says b'chol ma'odecha, not you should serve Hashem b'chol ma'od, which ma'od we established throughout Chassidus means going out of boundaries, out of limitations. But ma'odecha means going out of your boundaries. What is considered going out of boundaries for one person, even for another individual, for sure, is considered still within boundaries. What blows my mind and what blows my heart, I'm going out of my box because of it, someone else who has what's called moichin rechavin, like I'll soon explain, someone that's more broad-minded can handle that more. Let's see it in the side. Line 23. Even though it's beyond measure and boundary, it's only your ma'od. It's only a level of ma'od and without boundary, only comparable to his vessels of his intellect, according to his mind. As opposed to someone who his intellectual vessels are broader, he's broad-minded, he can handle more, he doesn't get blown away so easily. By that person, the light of this revelation can become enclosed in him internally. Fine, this means though his vessel cannot handle the light and revelation. Mikol still in all, it's not beyond the measurements of the vessel. In other words, even though by individual A he cannot take in this light, but it doesn't mean that the light by its very nature is beyond vessels. Because a broader vessel can handle it. Let's get just to be able to define what he's saying here with a simple mashal. When let's say we say, you want to store a gallon of water, you're not going to be able to put it inside of a cup. Not because, physical containers cannot hold a gallon of water. If you had a bigger cup, if you had a pot that holds a gallon, it will be able to contain the gallon. But you're using a cup-sized pot, let's say, it's not going to be able to hold a gallon. So the problem is just a technicality. It's not beyond being contained, it's just beyond being contained in this vessel. Then you're going to say, well, let's say an idea cannot be contained in a cup. An idea. The fact that an idea cannot be contained in a cup has nothing to do with the size of the vessel. Ideas just don't fit into cups, period. into any vessel, into any physical vessel. It won't fit into a gallon pot. It won't fit in a 30-gallon pot. It doesn't make a difference. The same thing over here. When a person down here below has an ava of bechol moedecha, it doesn't mean that the ava cannot be contained at all. It's not limited at all. It's just for his vessels. His vessel is too small of a vessel. So therefore, it's not truly infinite. If it's not truly infinite, v'lachein, line 2 on page Beis, the avoida with all your might is only in a level of a likeness, kidmuseinu lebligvul shalamayla, to the bligvul of above, because Hashem's bligvul is such a type of level of bligvul that's completely without boundaries, without limitations, that cannot be fit in anywhere whatsoever. Let's stop over here for a question, if anybody. Oizvav, page Yud Beis. So now he's going to bring this back to what we spoke about at the beginning of the Maimer about Katointi Mikol HaChasadim Mikol HaEmes. Zeu Gamein in the Kol HaChasadim, that's also the idea of all the kindnesses. And we explained at the beginning, based on the Geras HaKodesh of the Alter Rebbe, Shu Inyan Kirvas Alakim. The kindness that we experience is Hashem's closeness to us. Shepoil HaBittul the Katointi, it affects and causes the bittul of one being small. The Chol HaKorav Alavayu Yosef Kila, that the closer one is to Hashem, the more he is insignificant, as we said before, the more chasadim I experience, the more I am katointi, I feel small and humble. And what is this? What is this kol chasadim in the spiritual realms? Because chesed, as we know, is connected with the idea of ava. The midah of chesed is ava, is love. When is love? What part of our avodah is love? That's davening. Line 8, Shekoya. It's referring to the idea of davening, the less there's no service like the service of love. So that is the avoid of davening. Va'ad, to such degree, not just any level of love, but the highest, most level. Va'ad l'rusa the liba, until the will of the heart. That's the ava with all your might, believable, without a boundary. But like we said before, that is only in a likeness, because our going out of bounds is not the true out of bounds. It's only like us. It's only the likeness of Hashem. It's only a likeness and something similar to the bligvul of above. That's why we were asking about the order. Why does it say chesed before emes? It should say emes before chesed, because truth means something that I owe you. Chesed is beyond that. But here in the context, chesed is going on davening. To the level of davening of the love with all your might, where that's your bligvul. But that's only like the bligvul of above. But that's followed Mikol HaEmes. What is the emes going on? The koyal Torah, it's referring to the Torah, the emes ala Torah, that truth is only Torah, like the Chazal say, Shezeu amitis ein the bligvul. That's the true idea of infinite. How is Torah the true idea of the infinite? Since it says whoever reads in Tanakh and studies the Torah Sheba'al Peh, Hashem sits across from him and learns the same thing with him. Through the sublimation and bittul during learning Torah that follows davening, he draws down that Hashem sits and learns. So he's tapping into bligvul itself. Not like us, where we have a love which only mimics the bligvul of Hashem, but it's actually bligvul when he's studying Torah. And even in Torah itself, there is some level that's even more a level of bligvul, as we'll soon explain. But Torah Gufin and Torah itself, yesh b'shtei dargis, it has in the two levels, Galia, the Eraisa, V'sasim, the Eraisa, the revealed part of Torah and the concealed part of the Torah. The revealed part of the Torah that's connected to worldly matters. It deals primarily with things of the physical world, of the physical universe, mitzvahs that we do with physical objects, and so on. So since the world is limited, so the Torah that deals with the world also reflects that limitation. And where do we see it? So the Rebbe brings a very interesting example of where we find that Torah is limited in the down-to-earth sense. Until it's possible to be the idea of the studying the entire Torah. If Torah wouldn't be limited, how can the Chazal, how can Halacha even address the issue? Someone that studied the entire Torah, obviously there's a limitation to Torah. Like it's explained in the halachas of studying Torah. Like we find many that are known to have concluded the entire Torah is brought down to Gemara, and Hilchos Talmud Torah brings about that if someone finished learning the entire Torah, he still should not be learning foreign wisdom. He should still be devoting himself to Torah. So we find that halacha and the Gemara addresses someone that concluded the entire Torah. That means that Torah is limited. That is in the revealed part of Torah. As opposed to the true idea of the infinite and unbounded level in Torah, Torah is in the inner part of the Torah. And the Rebbe says like this: in truth, that also in the pnimius, in the revealed part of Torah, it says that its measure is longer than the earth and it's broader than the sea. Top of page Yud Gimel. Why is that? Didn't we just now say that there's a limit? But the truth is, that's as far as quantity. But depth of learning, you could keep on going deeper and deeper. Since the idea of there's the depth in Torah and there's the pilpul back and forth, that there's possible in Torah to go deeper and deeper. Avalaf became, but still in all, it's not similar to the bligvul that's in the inner part of Torah. The bligvul that's in the inner part of Torah, the infinite, is shehi b'chinas ein sof. It's a true level of infinite. It's not in the way that there's the infinitude to be found in just going in deeper and deeper. It's a very expression of the ein sof. It's a very connection with Hashem's infinite being. That is, just like we said, Nigla. Nigla is talking about Hashem's finite world, and it deals with mitzvahs having to do with the finite aspect of creation. Since it's dealing with mitzvahs have to do with the finite aspect of creation, therefore, the mitzvahs, the Torah is also finite to a certain degree. What does the inner part of Torah talk about? It talks about Hashem. It talks about spirituality. It talks about things that are beyond the limitations of the world. So just like the topics and the issues and the subjects that are under discussion have no limitations, so too the Torah that is dealing with it is also infinite. To such a degree, through the concealed part of the Torah, we draw down the concealed part of the Eibishter, like it says, that all three, the Yidden, the Torah, and Hashem, are made up of Sosim Vegalia, it's brought down, concealed and revealed. And through the concealed, through the revealed part of the Torah, we connect the revealed part of the Yid with the revealed part of Hashem. And the revealed part of Hashem shows still on certain limitations. Whereas through the concealed part of the Torah, we are connecting the concealed part of a Yid, but the main thing is we're connecting with the concealed part of Hashem. So, shezoi bechinas shalamayla minyan hashenuyim, that the concealed part of Hashem is the levels beyond changes, which changes shows on limitation. It's even higher than the level where we say, I Hashem am unchanged. That itself, that it says, I Hashem am unchanged, means it has some relationship with change, but it transcends it. Like Soviv Kalam, we a lot of times say in Chassidus, it transcends and encompasses the worlds. That means it's still measured by the worlds, at least what it's not. Rather, the level of Sasim Kuchabrichu that the Sasim of Torah has to do with is a level that's beyond even saying, I am unchanged. In Chassidus language, this is the inner part of Keser. That is the level of the Pnimius HaTorah touches and draws down Pnimius HaKeser. It's always brought down Chassidus. That has to do with Pnimius Atik. And I think he's going to mention soon, that's also the idea of Mashiach's times. That's going to be the revelation of Pnimius Atik as well, Pnimius HaKeser. So he goes on, he says, line 9. That's what it means, I become humbled from all the kindnesses and all the truth. After the idea of all the kindnesses, which is the idea of the avodah of davening, comes the matter of all the truth. That's the idea of the service of Torah study. And primarily the great quality of Torah that is higher than davening, that's the true infinite, as opposed to just a likeness of infinite, that's in the inner part of Torah. Yet, when our purpose is not to be out of this world, the intention is that all this should be coming down also in this world. Like it says, Al Divrosi Malki Tzedek, upon my words of and Malki Tzedek. So, what does that mean? It's talking about the drawing down of the light into the level of Malchus. Dibur, Divrosi has to do with Malchus. Malki Tzedek, Malki has to do with Malchus. To such a degree that the Hashem's speech of the 10 utterances, that through them the world was created, there should be my word, and not my words, but it's the idea of said in the way of Lashon Yachid. Lashon Yachid in the singular indicates Dibur Shali de B'chinas Atzmos Ein Sof. It's my words, the level of Hashem's very essence. How does that become that joining, that level of the Yachid coming down into the world? The level of Atzm should come down into Rasar Amoris, into Malchus, and through that into the world. So this happens and is done through the study of the inner part of Torah. The last time on like Kusha Chulov like Machlaik is that it says about the Zohar says that the inner part of the Torah has no questions in the way of challenges and no disputes. It's in a way that I've redeemed, but in peace. There's a way of redeeming in a way of milchama, that's associated with the revealed part of Torah that has a lot of battles going on, a lot of wars going on, questions, challenges, disputes, arguments, etc. Or there's the way of the study of Torah, which is in a peaceful way of resolution. That's the inner part of Torah. By days, when you have the Pod of Shalom, when you have the study of the inner part of the Torah, so then even the multitudes, the multiplicity was with me. Also the multiplicity, it's referring to the world that has a multiplicity of divisions, in a way of how great are your creations and how many are your creations. So instead of it being multiples, You imadi, they will be with me, Lashon Yachid in the singular, al divrasi malki tzedek, sha'al dibur hu divrasi, similar to what we said before the pasuk, al divrasi malki tzedek, that the dibur becomes in a singular mind. Now that's why saying Katainti from all the kindnesses and all the truth is a preface and a preparation for fulfilling the request that Yaakov Avinu posed this as a request from Hashem, save me. And it's a preparation for the promise to be fulfilled that I will surely do good with you. With Zamtiv, I will place your seed, your descendants, as a multiples, until it also transforms Esav upoil by Inyan, the Vaishakeu last page. He affects even in Esav that Esav kissed him. Like the opinion of Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai, Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai was the one that revealed the inner part of the Torah. So Rabbi Shimon ben Yochai said that at that time, even though in general Esav is not very pleased with Yaakov, to say the least, but at that time when Esav kissed Yaakov, he meant it with his full heart. His entire compassion welled up within him, warmed up within him. That's the idea of transformation. You take the clipper, you take Esav, and you completely transform him to kiss Yaakov. Just like by David HaMelech. So the Chazal say on the pasuk, what's it mean that many were with me? So the Chazal say it means the many is referring to that even the members of Avshalom's camp that fought against David, his Spalon and davened for David HaMelech's victory. So that's the idea of his hapcha. Even his enemy is davening for him. Until where it says at the conclusion of the matter, I will come to my master in Seir. And we know that Yaakov Avinu never went there, but rather it's referring to Mashiach's times, like we said in the previous week. When will he go in the days of Mashiach? Like it says, and the saviors will come up in the mountain of Tzin to judge the mountain of Esav. Then Mashiach will teach the entire nation the teachings of Mashiach, which means the Pnimius HaTorah, Bias Mashiach Tzidkenu, in the coming of Mashiach Tzidkenu, speedily our days, soon, Mamash.